I made $100,000 tutoring all while teaching full-time. Before you think she must have had some crazy side hustle magic, nope. I didn't run ads. I didn't have some fancy website. I took what I was already doing in the classroom and turned it into a profitable tutoring business. And today I'm spilling the beans on exactly how I did it. Hey teacher friend, welcome back to my channel. I'm Molly, and if you're a teacher who's exhausted, but still wishing you could bring in extra income without burning out, you are my person. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact strategies that I used to help me turn tutoring into a six-figure business. I did this all while teaching full-time, and I'm still a teacher, and you can do that too. We're going to talk about pricing, finding clients, and how to balance it all. And the secret mindset shift that changed everything for me. Let's jump in. All right, we need to start from the beginning because I didn't just wake up and suddenly have tutoring clients lined up, and it didn't just happen overnight. And I know that you probably understand that as somebody that is rational and realizes that overnight success is really not a thing. So here's what it really looked like for me. I started tutoring years ago, kind of by default. I was working full-time at a college and I wanted extra money. I was putting myself through college to become a teacher, and working full-time just meant that it took me a little bit longer. And somebody in the office that I worked in found an ad in the newspaper for tutoring, and the person wanted to pay $10 an hour. And I was young at the time, like 21, 22, and she said, absolutely not, you cannot accept $10 an hour. And I probably would have, to be honest. And so we kind of talked about pricing, and I'll give you that price now just for the sake of curiosity and just knowing that this was 15 years ago. So she said at the time, $25 an hour. And I'm so glad that she told me to do that because I ended up working for that family for 3 years, and I tutored for their daughter every single day. And it made me a lot of money at a time when I didn't have a lot of money. And so it was really nice to actually start building a business. From there, there's been times where I've taken breaks while I was teaching. I've always had like a few tutoring clients at least every year, but some months I don't have one, just depending. And I steadily increased my price over time. I was able to do that because I taught longer, and I got 2 master's degrees at the same time as well. And so I was highly qualified and able to increase my price. So now I'm able to charge my worth and make money whenever I need it and have a booked, solid, sold out summer. Whether I'm tutoring during the school year or just the summer, I always have clients on my list, and it's because I really treated my business like a business and stopped treating it like a side hustle, and I really valued my own time. So going from kind of a hobby type business where I wasn't getting paid as much to becoming a better teacher and years of experience, that's what changed for me. Is I started creating systems, and honestly, it all came down to that. I wasn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall. I figured out a formula that worked, and it starts with how you think about tutoring. The big secret for me, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I used what I was already good at inside of my own classroom and repurposed those lessons into tutoring sessions because the kids I was working with really aligned with what I did as a teacher, and it made tutoring sessions a breeze. These tutoring sessions and lessons that I created on my own also turned into products on Teachers Pay Teachers. Now, this is not a video about that, but if you've ever seen any of my other videos, you know that tutoring and TPT are the perfect combination of teacher side hustles, that where you can do 2 things at once. You can create resources, test them out on your tutoring clients, use them in your own classroom, sell them on TPT, and also kind of double dip that income, because while you're tutoring, you're using that product and you can show your audience how you use it and make money on TPT and also tutoring at the same time. They kind of feed into each other. If you're just starting tutoring, I don't recommend doing that right away. But if you are someone that's been tutoring a while and you want to take your business next level, that's the perfect time to do that. But let me tell you though, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and pricing is a big one. So if you are wondering how much to charge, here's what I learned the hard way. I learned that you have to be strong in what you say you charge and not end your sentences with, is that okay? You also need to know ahead of time and be confident about what you want to charge. Now, I do not just tell people, oh, you should charge XYZ. I've worked with a lot of coaching clients and we will get down to the nitty gritty of that once I know you, but it's not something that I can just quickly answer in a DM. So I did make a tutoring income calculator. I'll put the link down below where you can actually figure out your ideal tutoring rate based on how many hours you want to work and how many students that you want to work with. And it does all the math for you. Pricing can be finicky and it can really hold people back. It depends on where you live. I have lots of other videos on this. And in fact, this is the culmination of a tutoring series I've done this entire month, and I have a video on pricing that you can check out. So pricing, something that held me back for a while, and you might be thinking, okay, cool, I know what I want to charge, but where do these clients even come from? And I thought the same thing in the beginning. Here's what actually worked for me, and it wasn't complicated. A lot of what I'll tell you to do does come from being a full-time teacher. Do you have to be a teacher to tutor? No. Does it actually help you, benefit you? Yes, it does. And here's why. You have a bank of former students you can work with, and you just know kids in a different way than if you're not a classroom teacher. I have worked with tutors before that say they absolutely cannot work with students in their school. Totally understand that. However, you do work with a lot of kids. So there might be a sibling you could work with. There might be kids your parents and your classroom know of and you could recommend. You're not positioning yourself as someone that talks about their business at school, but conference time, this comes up. Parents want extra help for their students, and you can be that person. You can also wait till the end of the school year and work with them then. So I've had a lot of success with former students and then just word of mouth marketing. And that's where typically I get most of my students because I'm a teacher. Now, when you're not in the classroom, that does get a little bit more tricky. And so we've talked a lot on this channel about how to market yourself without being salesy. I even had a video this month in my series about that, so check that one out too. My tutoring business really hit its second stride. There was lulls and times where I wasn't tutoring as much, like I mentioned before, especially while I was working on my master's degree. I probably had 1 or 2 clients at a time. And then COVID hit and my business really blew up because parents wanted enrichment and they wanted remediation. They wanted the things that their kids weren't getting in the online classroom. And so I had a full tutoring client list while I was teaching full-time, and that really showed me that it was possible to build up a business while you're teaching full-time and not be completely stressed out by it. And I worked with a lot of clients at that point who were ready to leave the classroom and successfully did. I've talked about them here on this channel before. Lisa, she wanted to quit her teaching job and she was able to do that, and she's made over 6 figures since she's done that. And I have a video that you could actually check that out to see her story as well. So that being said, teaching full-time and trying to figure this out, I had to figure out a schedule that I could actually live with without completely losing my weekends and my sanity. And I set those boundaries by creating a schedule that worked for me. A lot of times we get stuck in this back and forth scheduling conversation when really we could create a calendar that people sign up for your services based on the times that work for them. And I did a video again on this series for this entire month, and you can check that one out about how to schedule and set those boundaries. That's going to be key, because if you find yourself saying yes every single time somebody asks you for something, you are going to be stretched thin. You're not going to want to tutor anymore. It's going to suck the fun and the joy out of it for you, and it won't be worth the money in the long run because you're giving up on things that you need to do or that you want to do. With summer coming up just right around the corner, this is the time that I like to talk about having a sold out summer. So instead of dreading not having extra money to spend. I know as teachers, I often hear my own friends talk about this, and myself included, that when your day is just completely empty and you don't have a lot to do, you tend to spend money. But what if you could structure your summer so you're tutoring for a handful of hours, had that extra income? So if you want to go on a trip with your family, or if you want to just be able to go to Target and not worry about it, or a daily Starbucks drink, that you can do that. And I think it's important to really think about pivoting.
Here we go. Pivot. 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 Pivot.
To a system that works best for you, instead of just saying yes to that summer school email and feeling locked in that you have to teach it. Tutoring really changed the game for me in my 6-figure tutoring business. I even got to the point where my entire summer schedule sold out every single year. And if you're thinking, could I actually do this? I promise you that you can. If you're a teacher, you already have all the things that you need. And if you are ready to start and you want the tools given to you, I'm teaching a live workshop called Sold Out Summer on April 17th. And in this workshop that lasts an hour, I give you all of my templates and teach you how to use them for email, social media, and even how to talk to people in direct messages if you want to build an online tutoring business and sell out your tutoring services for the entire summer. So you can have that predictable income and hit the delete button on the summer school email, which is so satisfying to do. Remember that just because you are busy and stressed right now doesn't mean you won't have the capacity to actually tutor. I know this is the time of year where we feel really burned out as teachers, but if you could just set aside an hour and come join us on April 17th, you will have all the tools you need and you can start getting clients and line them up for summer so that you don't have to teach summer school, or that you can do that extra thing. You could even do this in addition to teaching summer school. You'll find that tutoring just a handful of kids is really rejuvenating, and it'll give you that extra boost that you need, not only in your wallet, but in your self-confidence as a teacher and as a business owner. I hope you found this video helpful. Remember, if you would like to sign up for Sold Out Summer, I'll leave it in the description box below. And I'd love to know, are you planning on tutoring this summer? And are you going to hit the delete button on the summer school email? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.